Taiwan is bursting with heaps of fun places to explore. Join me, Amber Hatfield, as I hit up travel hotspots, soak up some culture, and hunt down hidden gems. Let's go! Welcome back to Let's Go. On today's episode, I'm joined by Mountain Sasa. She is a Malaysian woman living in Taiwan who loves to climb mountains, hiking in some of Taiwan's highest peaks. She has an Instagram following of more than 16,000. I followed her myself for more than a year, and I'm really excited to have her on the show today. Thanks for coming in.
Hello everyone, I'm a girl from Malaysia who is crazy for hiking.
How long have you been in Taiwan for?
This is my 10th year.
Wow. What brought you to Taiwan in the first place?
I came here for university.
But
I only started hiking about 4 years ago. 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Okay, and what got you into hiking?
Well, actually, my love for mountains was something I got from birth. But I was not a sports person at first. So I only could enjoy the mountains by driving or riding a scooter. But everything changed on my graduation trip. At that time, I planned to return to Malaysia for work after I graduate. So there's something on my bucket list, which is hiking to the highest mountain in Taiwan, Jade Mountain, because it is a hike. Actually, it is suitable for beginners. So I tried it, and when I stood at the summit of Jade Mountain, everything changed. I fell in love with hiking so much. It was such a wonderful feeling, and I decided to live in Taiwan.
Right,
Yes.
Wow. So before you went to Jade Mountain, you had like no experience at all? Or had you done some day hiking, like short hiking, or just nothing?
I only did some short hikes to Yangmingshan in Taipei, during holidays. But that was all. So I didn't have regular exercise before that hike. So it is actually very lucky that nothing bad happened to me during the hike.
Yeah, so who did you go with? Did you go alone? Surely not.
No. I went with my classmates because some of them have experience to Jade Mountain. I think this is a good choice. You have to follow experienced hikers when you do a high mountain hike in Taiwan. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Taiwan in general and the hiking experience that there is here in the mountains and everything. So I heard, I'm not sure if I'm correct, that Taiwan has the highest or one of the highest densities of mountains in the world.
Yes.
Is that right?
It's more than 70% of the whole Taiwan island is made of mountains. And for high mountains, which are mountains that are higher than 3,000 meters above sea level, we have 285 mountains like this in Taiwan. Yes, and Taiwanese hikers, they pick out 100 of them to be the 100 peaks of Taiwan, which we call 百岳 in Chinese. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any idea of why it's those 100 that make the list, or we don't know why? They just choose it.
Some of them is really significant, like they are really popular mountains and they are really beautiful. But some of them, we don't know why.
Okay. So basically Taiwan's like a paradise for hiking, you would say?
Yes, sure.
Oh, okay. So when you want to go to hike one of these 3,000 meter mountains, what kind of thing would you have to do to then prepare for that? Because it seems like a really big kind of thing to do, like a very big expedition to do. Maybe you need multiple days to do that. So how does someone prepare to do that for the first time? How did you?
Okay, first of all, I think it's really highly recommended that you follow a professional mountain guide or follow experienced hikers in Taiwan for your first hike to the high mountains. Because the weather and the landscape on the high mountains is totally different from what you see in the cities of Taiwan, and also totally different from what you see in overseas mountain trails. It's totally different. And also, it is also recommended that a beginner should do some regular exercise and training before the hike. And aerobic exercises is the priority because you need a good lung and a good heart to get used to the low oxygen levels on high altitudes. Yeah.
Ah, okay, yes, because you're so high up, then you might be getting altitude sickness, I guess.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes, it's possible, and it is actually daily routine.
So you mean you would get altitude sickness when you hike, or?
No, but it is quite like random. So you get it sometimes and you don't get it sometimes. It depends on your life before you hike. Like if you are too tired before you start hiking, and also depends on the weather. If it's too cold or raining, maybe altitude sickness will develop more drastically. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. So like if you've had a late night or you've maybe drank some alcohol the day before.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So aside from that, do you have to then prepare yourself for altitude sickness as well? Is that like, can you take some kind of medicine? Is that how you prepare for hiking too?
Yes, one of them is we'll take some medicines, and also if you have time, if you have enough time, you can stay for a night at an altitude lower, like at the middle of the mountain before you summit. Then maybe altitude sickness will not come so fast.
Right. Okay. And is there some kind of training plan that you did before you started hiking? Like, did you do any kind of training plan to get yourself that cardiovascular level before you did your first hikes?
For my first hike, I didn't do any regular exercise. Yeah, it's not so recommended. But after that, I started jogging. It is very simple, just jog, because I think I don't have a good cardiorespiratory system, but my muscles are enough for hiking. So it depends on every person. It depends on your body. How is your body made of? So you do enough training for that. But for me, because my cardiorespiratory system is not so good, I do aerobic exercises first. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And so would that also depend on what kind of route you want to take? So that in the Taiwan's mountains, I guess there are a lot of similar. Yes. Maybe it's the same mountain, but there are different routes that you can take around the mountain. For example, Yushan, Jade Mountain. There are many different trails you can take, and I guess some are more challenging than other ones are.
Yeah.
How do you pick that when you want to hike? What makes you choose which route to take?
Okay, for beginners, like Jade Mountain, Yushan, there are a lot of peaks on Jade Mountain, so most beginners will choose the Jade Mountain main peak and stay a night at the Paiyun Lodge, which is a lodge on this road, Paiyun Sanzhuang, and stay for the night before summit day. So this is the best recommended road for beginners. And there are also the second highest mountain, Snow Mountain. There is a road suitable for beginners also, but the lodge is under renovation for these 3 years. So maybe you need to wait for the end of the construction first. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So if there is not a lodge on the mountain, then you can still carry your own things and camp on the mountain, can you?
Yeah, but the campsite is very limited now. Yeah, because it is the whole area is under construction, so the campsites are very limited. So it's hard to get a place at the campsite. Yeah, and it is not so recommended to complete the whole hike in one day for beginners.
I see. So if you're choosing a route about which to take that you want to do for your next hike, how do you select that? Do you just to see how difficult it is, or maybe what the weather is like, or how do you choose what hike to do?
Yeah, I'll have to think of everything, like things you have mentioned, like weather and how difficult is the hike. Like if I'm a beginner, I can't go directly to a very hard hike like for 7 and 8 days. But for me now, because I have completed 63 peaks of the 100 peaks of Taiwan, so maybe I can go to more difficult roads. But also I need to observe the change of weather, because like Taiwan, although it is only a small island, the weather from the north to the south is all different. Yeah, it is really different from the north to the south. So you have to depend. It depends on the weather when I take a leave because I need to work. Yeah, when I take a leave for a period of time and I need to see how's the weather during the period. Yeah, and to choose my route and also difficulty. And also I will make it a priority to go to the peaks which I haven't climbed yet. Yeah.
Okay. That was something I wanted to ask you, was that like, are there any routes that you found particularly challenging or particularly rewarding that you would maybe do many times, the same route?
Yes, there's two parts. For the first part, challenging, my most unforgettable trip was a trip 2 years ago, and we hiked to the Chi Peaks. Yeah, the Chi Peaks, there is a stretch of very fragile landscape in the middle. And the landscape there changes from time to time, like it changed after an earthquake or after heavy rain. So at the time, it was our lack of preparation, and we used an outdated map. So we accidentally took the old trail at a fork, and we lost our way in the dark. Yes, it was very dangerous. And when we were finding our way, my hiking partner fell down the cliff 3 times in a row. But luckily, he wasn't injured. So in the end, we pitched our tent at a slope full of crushed stones. Yeah, we pitched our tent there, and we managed to wait for the sunrise, and we found the right way in daylight.
Okay, right. So basically that's a safety issue with hiking,
Yes.
that like any of these kind of dangerous things could happen. So how would you deal with that normally, like prevent those kinds of things? You said it was dark. So would you typically hike in the dark?
Usually no, but it's all based on preparations, because you need to prepare, you need to do planning before the hike. Like if you plan well, you will start your hike at a better time. Then you won't need to hike in the dark. But when your planning isn't so good, like you hike until the dark and you can't find a place to pitch your tent, then it will be very dangerous. Yeah. So, and also, just like I mentioned, the landscape changes from time to time. So you need to update your map, your offline map. That is really important in the high mountains of Taiwan. Yeah, because the landscape here, I think, is younger than most places on Earth. Yeah, so it changes a lot.
Oh, okay. And so what other things do you have to do to think about safety before you go hiking? Are there any other tips that you would have for people to consider safety when they go?
The most important thing is to bring enough clothes. Not water, not food. The priority is clothes, because a human being may die within 3 hours of hypothermia, which means that excess body temperature loss. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you just bring a heavy and thick jacket. You need to think of moisture wicking and also waterproof, because moisture brings away your body temperature very easily. So usually we will wear a moisture wicking base layer, and then a fleece jacket in the middle, and then waterproof jacket on the outside. Yeah. So the first thing is to think of the warm, and because you can live about 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food. Yeah.
And then I've actually seen some stories recently, news stories
Yes.
about hikers maybe going missing or things happening to them in Taiwan's mountains. And I saw that one of them, I think that they had left some of their things at the camp and gone for a walk without their things.
Yeah.
Is that something that would be a very kind of dangerous thing to do in general? You should have all of your things with you all of the time while walking.
But actually, it's nature to leave some things at the cabin or at the lodge when you summit, because you don't need everything when you go to your destination, because there are things that you only need it at the cabin. Yeah, but there's how you need to plan and how you need to think about what do you need during the last part of the hike. Yeah.
Okay. Because I had noticed that maybe some people, they would hike and they didn't think about maybe the tent is with another person, or
Oh,
certain
yeah.
things are with other people and they're not in your
Yes.
own bag.
Yes.
And that's not supposed to be a very safe way to plan the hike, right? Is that right?
Yeah, if for long hikes, it is more recommended that you take everything on your in your backpack instead of giving it to other people or hiring someone to help you to carry the tent. Yeah. But it depends on every person because some hikers maybe they don't have so much strength to carry so many things. Yeah. But if you need someone to help you carry your things, then you have to make sure that everybody have to hike together. Yeah. You don't split in the middle without enough planning. Yeah.
I see. And so let's talk a little bit about what you might advise people to do if they wanted to hike in Taiwan. Because from what I know, it's not particularly easy to understand how to go about hiking in Taiwan.
Okay, so I think the main thing is you have to be prepared well before each hike, and also you don't conquer the mountains. It is a gift from Mother Nature when you stay safe and sound in every hike.
I see, because it's not that the mountain is not something that you can just decide, I can climb this mountain right now. It depends on everything else, right?
Yes. So stay humble. When you stay humble, you will do more preparation and more planning before each hike.
I like that. Stay humble with the nature, right? The nature is in charge.
Yes.
In Taiwan, you have to apply for permits to hike, right?
Yes, of course.
And that's something that I actually hadn't really experienced before, because coming from the UK, we don't have a lot of high mountains in the UK. We just have smaller mountains, but you can just go to them whenever you like.
Yes.
So having to apply and register for hiking in Taiwan was something that was quite new to me, and a system which I thought was difficult. Do you have any kind of recommendations for how someone does that when they're not sure how to do it or they're new to Taiwan?
Actually, the system is very complicated, and it is different in every national park. Yeah, there are, the mountains. The mountains on Taiwan, every mountain is under a different national park, and the system and the policy is different. So if you are really unsure about it, you can contact local mountain guides. Yeah, like for me and my partner, we are also mountain guides, and you can find us on Instagram too.
That's all we got time for today's show. Please go and check out mountain_sasa on Instagram for some inspirational hiking pics and videos. And I'll see you next time.